on the Texas A&M Sports Network. From Learfield, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Welcome to the Joni Taylor Coaches Show, presented by Bud Light. It's for the fans. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit Rudy's.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Now, the Joni Taylor Coaches Show.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome out to Rudy's Barbecue. We've got a great crowd on hand here, a Harvey Road location here in College Station. With Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us tonight. The Aggies are 2-0 overall, and if you're out and about looking to grab some dinner, come and talk basketball with us. And if you're on Texas Avenue, oh, goodness, good luck trying to turn on to Harvey Road now for the next 3 or 4 months here. So find that alternate route into coming here if you're coming from Texas Avenue. If you're coming from the bypass or into the neighborhood, you shouldn't have much of a trouble. But always something going on in College Station. And Joni, are you a good driver?
I'm an excellent driver. I'm a fast driver. I'll be the first to say I have a heavy foot, but I consider myself to be an excellent driver. In fact, on the way here, we just got out of practice, and I got in my car at 5:30. I thought I'd give myself plenty of time. And, of course, I sat forever to even turn on to George Bush from campus, and I turned on to George Bush. I finally get to the light, and here's the train, and the lights go off, and there's one car in front of me, and they are about to stop. And I literally I've got to figure out I lay on the horn. I'm like, go! And so as it's coming down, I literally dukes a hazard and go through it. So I made it with 30 seconds to spare.
Yeah, you did great.
Thank you.
You know, even if you were a few minutes late, that is a challenge to get here from the way College Station traffic is, no matter how much time you leave. So we appreciate you being here. 2-0, as we noted, and is there some relief knowing that you had one game, now 2 games under your belt, a different feeling than you may have had when we spoke a week ago here?
It's relief because we can get some things on film. You know how it is. You practice and you practice, and even though we have practice guys who are amazing, you could tell our players are ready to play against somebody else. They're itching to play against some more competition. And Corpus Christi and Army both, are senior-led teams, a lot of returning players, coaches who've been there for a long time and do a really good job. And so we had some challenges, and they both showed us different things that presented different challenges for us. And I think that's what you look for in the non-conference teams that are going to, possibly be different than what you see on a regular basis in the SEC, that give you a chance to look at some different things. And so we've got a lot on film that we can now talk about and dissect, and there's a lot of things we've praised them for. I mean, you think about the Army game on Sunday and Jada Malone's diving out of bounds for a ball. I mean, I probably went crazy on the sideline because we've been begging them to do that for months. Tanea's taking charges. We're getting out. We're running. Sahara went and offensive rebounded. There's so many things I can point out. So that's really, really good things to show them, to say, hey, this is great. And there's also some things to show them and say, this is where we have to continue to move the needle and get better, because as we continue to play and our schedule gets tougher, that's not going to be okay. And that's approaching quickly as we leave tomorrow headed to Duke.
I noticed, I can't remember, it may have been the Jada Malone play on I believe it was Sunday, but a great play happens for Texas A&M, and the whole bench reacts, and you essentially dance down the sideline in front of the bench and looking for everyone to high five. Do you happen to recall that moment? If not, I look at it as just such an engaged moment for the bench to appreciate what they were seeing on the floor.
I think it could have been a Jada Malone
Sure.
play. It could have been something we had been asking someone to do on offense, and they finally did it, and it worked. It could have been any of those things. We are about celebrating and having positive reinforcement for those things that matter, those little things. And so you're going to see that a lot, and when you see it, cheer along too, right? We're trying to make sure that they understand how important those things are.
We'll talk specifically about Corpus Christi, the game and the Army game specifically here. But at the end of the Corpus game, and I asked you this on our pregame show on Sunday, the game is finished, the interviews are finished before you head in, and you got to be greeted by your husband and your children. Tell me what that is like compared to what you may have been feeling over the last 6 months or so since you were hired, what that moment may have meant to you.
Obviously we do everything as a family, so having them there is really important, and they are the backbone, and they're my why. And so to see them there and have them there, really reminds me and it centers me of like, this is why we're doing this, along with obviously helping young women to, make their dreams come true and help them become better people. That's the other reason why. And it's equally as important because let's just go through that Thursday. So after that game, I hugged them and I saw them. And then when I got home Friday night, the girls were asleep. And then when they woke up Friday morning, I was already gone. And so JC's teacher, my 6-year-old, she texted me. She said, "Are you out of town?" I said, "No, I'm here." She goes, "Oh, well, JC said you weren't here because she hasn't seen you." I said, "No, I'm in town. It's just this is the grind that we're in." So there are several nights where, they're asleep when I get home and they're asleep when I leave. And so I may not see them for 2 days. And so that's the sacrifice that they make so that we can do this. And so when they're there with those hugs and those smiles, it reminds me of why we're doing it.
Indeed. We are on Facebook Live tonight as well, along the Texas A&M Network, and so we'll also be engaging with some folks on Facebook. They may have some questions, and if folks in the audience here at Rudy's have some questions, you can write them down. Use a napkin. That's always a good idea to do if you want to give us a question. But when we come back, we're going to talk more specifically about the game against Corpus Christi and the Army game, and as the show goes along, we'll get set for the game at Duke on Thursday night. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. This is the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. Basketball and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. We're back on the Joni Taylor Radio Show. We're at Rudy's Barbecue here on Harvey Road in College Station. We are here on Tuesday nights throughout the season. However, our next show after tonight is not going to be until December the 13th is our next show here. Just the way the game schedule works out, we've got some Tuesday night games and other obligations going on, and so we'll be here December the 13th, and then once we get the conference play going, we're here pretty much every Tuesday the rest of the way. And so that is your appointment and your dining. I know some of you guys need to set your calendars, so catch those calendars, get them caught up with the Tuesday women's basketball show with Joni Taylor here at Rudy's Barbecue. With the coach, I'm Steve Miller, and the Aggies are 2-0, going to take on Duke. That's this Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Time, and you can listen here on the A&M Sports Network. Locally, that will be Zone 1150, or you can watch it on the ACC Network Extra on the ESPN app. So much like you find the SEC Network games, you'll just look for the ACC Network Extra on that ESPN app. And then on Sunday, the Aggies host Texas Southern at 2 o'clock. And again, you can listen to that locally. That'll be 1620 WTAW. It'll also be on the SEC Network Plus. And remember that on Sundays, it's our Fun Days and one adult ticket. You can bring in 4 kids in for free. Just buy that ticket at the door. So great opportunity to come out and engage with our women's basketball team. The opening night, the Aggies beat Corpus Christi 69-45. And was it the opening game you had expected from your team?
It was. Thought we'd be a little bit of jitters, but I also thought that we'd share the basketball and there'd be different people who did some things. And so also knew there'd be some things defensively we needed to just kind of square up and get better at. So overall, I was pleased. I think the biggest thing that we have tried to ask them to do is just raise their level of how hard they play, on both ends of the floor at all times. And so Thursday, there was times where we played really hard, and then there were times where we didn't play so hard, right? And so it's just also as we continue to get in the game, get in game shape, it's like our conditioning level. We've got to be able to sustain that effort for longer periods of time. And I think for us, the running theme is once we get tired, we just tend to kind of, slow down or think we're not as sharp or we don't think. And, I tell people all the time, like, the best thing you could do for yourself is be in the best shape as possible, because then you can digest information, right? If you're trying to breathe, it's really hard to digest information because all you're thinking about doing is breathing. And so that's an adjustment that we're still trying to make.
When you talk about being in shape, obviously you have nutritionists, you have strength coaches, you have practice, but student athletes aren't always there. What do you expect for them to do when they're not around directed activities?
Well, that's the thing. Like, when we are with them, we try to do as much as possible and have as many people as possible around them, the dietitian, our strength and conditioning coach, our trainer, what we do in practice. But when they go home, we can't control that snack, or we can't control like that Saturday that they're off if they're in the bed sleeping all day, and they need their rest, right? I think the biggest thing for our team is they're still adjusting to like just a totally different style of play. And I think they will be, they were already a lot better. They showed back up in August in a lot better condition than they were when we first saw them in April. We're still not quite there, though. And so that's just going to be a continual process.
And so when you see that lagging late in a game, as you noted, how do you have to alter your approach to how you're playing at that point? Or you just got to know we got to find – how do you do that?
I got to sub quicker.
Yeah.
I got to sub quicker. And until we can start playing for longer periods of time, I got to sub quicker. And sometimes they're sitting. There's just no stoppage in play, right? And I've got to know that. Like 3 or 4 minutes, we've got to just get them in and out quicker. And at the same time, I want them to be able to play for longer stretches, so I don't want to sub them, right? Sure. But until we can get that figured out, I probably got to just, especially with certain people who have a shorter wick, and sometimes their anatomy is just that way. They have a shorter wick and they need to come out. Once they get their second win, they're better. But until we can kind of get it figured out, I need to probably sub quicker.
Do you also, we still talk about the game. I know folks are like, hey, talk more about the game. Some of the philosophy is, do you kind of keep an eye on that clock? Hey, we're coming up on a media timeout where we're going to be sitting over here for 2.5 minutes. If I lift someone out right now, does that give them extra time? Does that play into it sometimes?
Sometimes it does, and then sometimes the media is your break, So it depends on the situation we're in, too. And that's going to be challenging, too, as we start, again, playing tougher teams in the non-conference. Like, there are certain people that, depending on how they're playing, you're just going to have on the floor. Or, in one game, Aaliyah, Patty, and Janai are both in foul trouble, right? And so our bench automatically just becomes shorter. And so now you've put a strain on other people who are playing longer minutes because of that.
In that first game against Corpus Christi, Sydney Bowles comes out and just starts knocking down three-pointers, ended up with leading all scorers with 13 points, had 3 3-pointers, and I think that really caught the eyes of the A&M fans. What was your evaluation of her first game?
Regular Sydney for me. We've been recruiting Sydney since 7th grade. And so what we saw Thursday was just par for the course. She's an elite shooter. Shoots it at a high level, can create a shot, get her shot off. I think one of them was like I didn't have my feet set, so I took a step back dribble, and then I shot it, and it went in. She's just capable of that. And she also, what you haven't seen is her range. I mean, she can come across and shoot it from the logo consistently. I think the thing for Sydney is just continuing to challenge her on the defensive end and then shot selection. Woodward Academy, the school that she played at, was a really, really good high school, but she was asked to do a lot, especially offensively. And so it's just her learning what's a good shot and what's not a good shot.
Do you remember the first game you saw her play?
Yes, I do. I remember the first practice that I saw in the first game, and I just remember thinking, like, if when you see them that young, it's like, okay, if they can continue on this path, right? And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But I remember coming back to Chelsea and Robin, I'm saying, like, this is a kid we've got to stay on, like, immediately because she has a chance to be really, really special.
And you got to finally see that come to fruition. What was that like? After seeing her, this is 4 or 5. What is that? That's 6 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
When did she formally, or when did you formally offer her and knew that yes, she's gonna play for me?
Here,
well, not here, but no, we know with the schedule here, but in general.
We offered her in 8th, 9th grade. Yeah,
that's great.
And then she, we kind of felt good about it, but you just don't know until you know. And so she kind of made us work for it. She committed after her official visit, which was her senior year. So we had to wait a while for that commitment.
And also in the game, you had Sahara Jones come out in that first game with 11 points. Even had 4 assists in the middle of all that, and then came out and did another good performance in the Army game. To me, that was a great to see her. What was your evaluation of Sahara?
Sahara's a 3-level scorer. She's long. She gives us length on the perimeter. She can get to the rim. She shoots the 3. She can shoot behind the screen. She's got to pull up. Where we really wanted to challenge Sahara is just in her offensive rebounding. And so to see her in the Army game go out and just attack the offensive glass, that's a hard match for someone to try to box her out because most of the time there's going to be a smaller guard on her or they're going to choose to put like a forward on her. And that's a mismatch for her. That's to her advantage, either way you look at it. So to see her go to the offensive glass the way she did was something that was really good. But she provides, she stretches the floor. And when you have her and Sydney on either wing, it makes it really difficult for defense.
coming off the bench. Tanae Hilton comes off and gets 5 or 6 assists and 10 points off the bench. I think she's going to develop into a tremendous player for you.
She's going to be fun to watch. She's fun to watch. She's dynamic with the ball in her hands. She's got great vision. She's still learning when to pass and when to keep it for herself. She's unselfish in that. She's also another 3-level scorer, and she's strong. I mean, that first time she checks in and she gets to the rim and she bodies the forward and gets the and one. I mean, that's a tough play for a smaller guard to make, but she's just so strong. And just got a lot of ability, and she's pretty shifty too. So excited to see her come out there. And, especially last year, we had her, at Georgia for the entire, conference play, but she didn't really get to show her skill set a ton. It's really hard for a freshman to show up in January and compete in the SEC. And so for her to just be patient and then, see it all come to fruition for her on Thursday and Sunday was fun to watch.
What'd you think of your defense in the first game? You held a team under 50 points. Typically, that's pretty good, at least from the scoreboard watch. I mean, what's the coach think?
I wasn't very happy with it.
What'd you want to improve on?
I thought we were out of position a lot. I thought we gave up a ton of offensive rebounds that we shouldn't have, and I thought we let them score too many points. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but I thought we let them score too many points. Our defense was much better on Sunday.
Yeah, and on Sunday, why was it better on Sunday against Army? The Aggies win that one 73-49 was the final.
Well, Army, 2 games before they came into College Station, shot 45 threes in a game and made 15 of them. And so we held them to just 11 attempts, and they made 5. So we took away what their primary option on offense, which is a 3-ball. And that's what you want to do. You want to take away a team's primary option and force them into something else. And so when we did that and forced them into a half-court game, it made it a lot easier for us and tougher on them. And then you've got Mackenzie and Tanae and KK just really wearing out the point guard. It made it a lot better, and we kept them off the glass. We were really good about one and done. Army runs a Princeton offense, which is a ton of cuts, ton of backdoor options, ton of, fade, slip. Something's always happening, and where we weren't very solid defensively was being on the white line, like weak side help. Once the ball picks aside, being weak side help. And we were much better locked in on that on Sunday. So I was really pleased with some things that we did on the ball and off the ball.
Someone who seemed to have a great improvement from the first game to the second game, Janiah Barker started 1 of 9 shooting in the first game, found her shot, looks over at the bench, it seems it goes, hey, I got this, makes a few more buckets, and then pours in 17 against Army. What was the difference for her?
Well, I think, shot selection, number one. And I think the biggest difference is she played longer minutes the second game because she wasn't in foul trouble. First game, foul, out. Put her back in, third foul, out. She's got to stop fouling so she can stay on the floor. Even in that first game, she only has 8 points. But some of the shots she took, you could tell what she's capable of. But she also, the stat sheet, rebounds, block shots. Like, she's someone who can fill up a stat sheet and affect the game on both ends of the ball. And she did the same thing on Sunday. So she's fun to watch. We're still continuing the conversation with her. It's like, when to have flash and when to simplify, because obviously she's got some flash to her game and you want her to have that. You don't want to take it away from her, but just knowing when to be flashy and then when to make the simple play.
Finally in the Army game, for now, Sydney Roby comes off the bench, 10 points, ends up with 7 offensive rebounds. And I realize there were a lot of opportunities for offensive rebounds, but to get them is another story. What was she offering?
She's like Go-Go Gadget when that big palm goes up in the air. It's just like, boop, boop. She was 4 for 5 in the Corpus Christi game. That's the thing we tell our team. Like, when she gets that thing on the block and you see her numbers, the ball's got to go in. She'll make the right decision. She is so unselfish. There was one time she's one-on-one and she turns and she passes it out. She's got to make the right decision. So I was really happy for her. She's someone who has really tried to dial in and do the things we've asked her to do. In August, when they were done with summer school and the team went home, she stayed here so she could try to work on her conditioning. That's been the biggest challenge for her, is playing at the pace that we want her to play at. And so, again, she's someone who really we challenge to stretch her minutes out a little bit, because when she's on the floor, if you look at her stats per minutes played, it's off the charts. Off the charts.
Coming up in the show, MJ Johnson is here. We're going to be visiting with her. She's not playing this season, but she's contributing in other ways with her injury. We'll talk to her. And coming up next, our associate head coach, Chelsea Newton, is here. Tell us about what we expect at Duke and about all these new players we've just signed here at Texas A&M. That and more. We're live at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. Not everyone is a morning person yet, but with Costa Vida's new breakfast tacos, everyone will be. Try our bacon, egg, and cheese, or specialties like the machaca beef and egg, or sweet pork, egg, and cheese. Stop by our drive-thru any day from 7 to 10:30 a.m. Order online through the Costa Vida app or the website. Become a morning person at Costa Vida. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show with the coach. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us. The Aggies taking on Duke this Thursday in Durham at Cameron Indoor Stadium. You can listen on the A&M Sports Network. Locally, that's Zone 1150, or watch on ACC Network Extra on the ESPN app. Then this Sunday, make plans to join us back at Reed Arena. It's the Aggies hosting Texas Southern at 2 o'clock. And then next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, the Aggies host Texas State at Reed Arena at a special time. It's 4 o'clock. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so a little special time for you. So make sure you got that down for a week from this Wednesday, A&M and Texas State, 4 o'clock at Reed Arena. We are joined now by our associate head coach, Chelsea Newton. Chelsea, welcome.
Thank
you found the place?
I did.
Yeah?
I did.
The traffic was good for you?
I got here.
You didn't say any bad words on the way over here, did you?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I was a great young lady.
Okay, good, because we weren't going to ask you to repeat them. Just acknowledge that. So heading on to Duke this week, what are you expecting from Duke?
Well, Duke they have 6 grad transfers. So they're experienced. They know how to play college basketball. Been doing it for a while. But just a team that has a lot of depth, a lot of experience, and they're a fast-paced team. So we expect to see transition, and just probably a defensive juggernaut game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be exciting to play a team from a Power 5 conference, if you will. And when you guys put together a schedule, is this the progression that you're kind of looking for in your games?
Well, I think it's great to get challenged early on. This is a great challenge for us, so we know where we are, especially still have games to come after that where we can prepare more for SEC. But to grab our young ladies' attention early on in the year is something, you need to do. You don't want to not face a challenge and go in 12-0 in SEC or not have a tough game and then think you're somewhere you're really not.
Well, it's not all been the next opponent and the current opponents for you. We've had quite the recruiting class that has been signed as of, was it last week? Was that when signing days were last week?
Last week,
So
yes.
three young ladies coming to Texas A&M in the early signing, and is there a period in which more ladies can sign with A&M over the course of the year?
Yeah, there's an early signing period and late signing period. Maybe did they get rid of the late signing period? I think, yeah, you can still sign late, but sure. We're always in recruit mode. So especially with things going on with the portal and just how transferring and things are, you're always just recruiting. So the 3 young ladies that we got early in signing is great talents. Erica Moon and Kylie Marshall and Soleil Williams are all can come in and play right away.
The first one, Erica Moon from St. Francis High School in Atlanta, Georgia, a 5'6" point guard, the 76th ranked player in the class. How long have you guys been keeping an eye on Erica?
We've known Erica since probably the 6th grade, maybe. Yeah, 6th grade. So
we'll be down to daycares pretty soon here. We'll take it.
We've known her for quite some time, and so we've built relationships. And when we were at Georgia, recruited her, and she was always on campus. So we built a relationship that as soon as we said we were coming to Texas A&M, she wanted to come out, check it out, and see. What kind of player is Erica? When you look at her, a high IQ point guard, understands how to run a team. She's a competitor. She played competitive at a top high school in Georgia and in a type AAU program. She just understands how to get her teammates involved, and then when she needs to score, she knows how to score. And then most importantly for us, she can defend. We're visiting with our associate head coach, Chelsea Newton, on the Joni Taylor Show. And Joni, what's Erica's personality? You guys have known her for a while, so what's her personality like?
Until you get to know her, she can be kind of quiet. Okay. Right? She watches everything. She observes, but she is hilariously funny once you get to know her. And I'll tell you the other thing that I love about her on the court especially is that she can say hard things to her teammates and get them in the right spot. And that's what you want from a point guard. You want somebody who's a point guard that can direct traffic and have the type of a relationship where she can tell them what to do and they listen. You know, she actually played AAU with Janiyah and Sydney Bowles, and she's grabbing them by the collar and telling them where to go and what to do, and that's what you want. So when you first meet her, she's going to be a little shy, but once you get to know her, she's a lot of fun.
Do you guys expect some of these ladies to come to see some of the home games, or just wait and maybe catch up when you're on the road to come out and watch, considering where they're from and what their seasons are like right now?
Well, I'll answer that. Erica probably will see us when we go closer somewhere else, maybe near, Alabama, Auburn area. She'll definitely come to those games. I'm sure Kylie, who's close, will definitely come to a few games, and same thing for Soleil. She'll have to travel to see us.
Sure. Kind of the location and where they're at, and official visits are over, so kind of on your own nickel, I guess, right?
Yes.
Well, it's just hard with their schedule, too.
Right.
I mean, the high school schedule now, they play during Thanksgiving. They play during Christmas. Like, it almost is a college schedule. So their free time is they practice on the weekend. I mean, we didn't really practice on the weekend when I was, so it's just their dynamic and their schedule is almost as busy as ours, too.
Sure. The next young lady, Kylie Marshall from Lake Ridge High School in Mansfield, Texas, 5'11" guard and #1 player in the state of Texas. I'm pretty sure, I think we're pretty fact-checked that I don't think the #1 player of Texas has ever signed with Texas A&M. Does that add up?
That was a fact check, yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah? What's Kylie bring?
Yeah, Kylie has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. Great body, great frame. Anytime you can get a guard that is, 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", and can do multiple things, can score at all three levels. I think, for her just coming in and really, we're just going to have to continue to work on her ability to come in and just right off top, what's the best way to say it?
Her pace needs to get better.
It just has to get a lot better. As far as how fast we want to play and intensity, but she has all the skill in the world, all the skill.
What about her? Her high school program stands out. What are they doing there at Lake Ridge?
They actually just had a tournament this weekend. They won, and she won MVP. So I think in high school it's been great for her because she's not playing with a lot of great players. So she's having to carry the load. So this is good for her to just prepare her. Coming into college where she won't necessarily have to carry the load, but she'll understand the pace and intensity she's had to play every possession.
Was she on your radar before you came to A&M, or was she somebody that, because you're in the state of Texas, gets on your radar and you go to work?
First tournament we went to in April. She was one of the first people we saw. And we were like, all right, pedal to the metal, we got to get her. And that's where it was.
Was she considering other schools here in the state, or was it something else?
Yeah, she was. She was considered schools here, local area, nationally. She's been, pretty much all over the country. And so thank God she's interested in engineering and great school here. And her family, we built a, strong bond and relationship early on. And they're, it was important for them to be a part of a family atmosphere and a great education. And so they felt that when they were here, and we were able to, seal the deal.
Obviously, she's a little closer to home, and when her schedules allow, she may be around. Is there anything our fans need to know about? Are they allowed to say hello to her when she's here, if they know who she is, that sort of thing?
We do not direct anything.
Yeah. But they're not breaking the rule if they don't say hello, sort of thing.
You can say hello all you want to.
Good. Perfect. That's what we want to know. Make sure she feels welcome if we can do that. Soleil Williams from Princeton High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, a 5'9" guard, is the number 51 player in the country. And tell us about Soleil.
Soleil is somebody who was committed, had been committed to Louisville for a while, somebody we had recruited prior when we were at Georgia. So we had a relationship. She had come to visit us in Georgia and just, wanted something different. All right. I would feel like she wanted, I think she always sort of wanted to play for Joni. I would say that. And so she, I guess, went on her visit and just wanted to experience something else. And so she just, decommitted. And once she gave us the call, of course, we, invited her to campus. And I mean, it seemed like it was just a match made in heaven a little bit. It happened on the visit. So it was probably a week of a process. And it worked out. unusual, it happens that fast. But like I said, we had a relationship prior and had a long relationship. So we're excited about Soleil.
What is it, and folks may not know, and what's an official visit like when somebody comes to campus and to come to see you? What is it that they do with you? What are you doing with them?
We have 48 hours to probably present our best, and then we try to be as genuine as possible. So we don't try to do anything that's extreme or anything that's not probably what you would say normal. All right, so I think more than anything, we, 48 hours of trying to show what we offer educationally, also how we are as family, as a team. I think most players that come on campus for official visits want to really build a relationship with the players. They never get a chance to talk to them or see them, so that 48 hours is really their opportunity to get to know them because, they've been talking to us for years or however long. So we were fortunate enough to be able to go to a football game, and it was, we had a great time, and they had a great time and enjoyed every moment. We had to leave to come to practice, and they still wanted to stay, so obviously they were having a good time.
And why was the football game important for you guys to attend?
12th man. They got to see that. 12th man. To see the atmosphere, to see the tradition, see just how we are different from any other institution. I think it's super important for anyone coming to visit to be able to see, just to feel this is really a family atmosphere all the way around.
And you guys are going to games even if you don't have a recruit in town, right? You guys still go as a staff.
Yeah,
when I've run into and you're all going to the games. Why is going to a football game important for you guys?
I would just say I think it's just the support you want to show and you want to give. And I say it all the time. We don't want to just be takers, right? We want to be givers. And so we don't want to just be come see us, come see us. Like, you pass these young men at training table, you see them in bright when they're in academics, you get to know them, and obviously have no idea we're in the stands, but you want to be able to not only support our student athletes, but our staff as well. And so that's the first thing, is the camaraderie that we have, in the athletic department, is to support each other. We try to get out to every game. Some are challenging when you're playing in the same season. And then it's what Chelsea said, it's the environment. We're excited about being here and learning it, and so those are all reasons why it gets more challenging now that we are in season, but
we're excited about the recruiting class, and it never stops, as you said, but thank you for sharing about these. I'm looking forward to seeing these young ladies play this season at their high schools and follow them a little bit, and then looking forward to next season. So, Chelsea, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And this is Chelsea Newton, everybody, our associate head coach, and we're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield.
Sorry, we're back.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, hotel accommodations, autographed memorabilia, and more. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. This is the Joni Taylor Radio Show with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. Great to have you with us out here at Rudy's. The Aggies getting set to take on Duke. That's this Thursday, 6 o'clock Central on the road. And you can listen here on the A&M Sports Network. That'll be Zone 1150, or you can watch on the ACC Network Extra on the ESPN app. Then on Sunday, the Aggies host Texas Southern at 2 p.m. at Reed Arena. But we are joined now by MJ Johnson, and welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We're good. What's wrong with your knee? Let's just jump right to it.
In July, I tore my ACL, and then August I had surgery, so I am out for the season. But next season I'll be back.
And the question everybody wants to know is, how'd you do it?
Actually, a pretty normal thing. I was just getting a rebound. Nobody was next to me. Nothing. Just went up to get a rebound and came down, and my knee wasn't being a knee at that time.
Oh, no. And then when did you have your surgery, you said?
August 4th.
In August. So when do you get to pick up a basketball, or have you?
I actually just got cleared to do some mid-range jump shots about a week ago. So that was the first time since August that I've shot a ball. But I will be cleared to play depending on Sherry in 6 to 8 months. So.
All right. And so since you can't play actively, What have you been doing with your teammates to help them along this ride?
Yelling and screaming and cheering and everything. Being the energy player, I'm essentially trying to be Joni's right hand. I tend to follow her around in practice because I try to learn the plays from her perspective so that if my teammates have a question, they can come to me before it goes to her.
She hadn't told you to stop following me?
No, not yet.
What is it? How hard is it to have to watch your teammates knowing you're not going to play this season?
It's very tough. Because I've tore my ACL in the summer, I kind of had some time to say okay, I'm gonna be watching, and you're not gonna be able to go in, especially when Naya or Patty, they're in foul trouble. I'm next, because we all play the same position. I'm pick me, but it can't be me. So just having that time to actually sit and understand that I have to be watching, it's been easier to kind of switch my mindset.
I think I ran into you in August or 1st of September, first time I had seen you since you got hurt. And same today, your spirit and is still so positive about that. How are you so positive? Because so many athletes, they may go in a different direction and, it may become detrimental, but that's not what I'm seeing from you, which is great.
Oh, I definitely have my moments, but Joni called my mom, so I couldn't be sad anymore. She called my mom and told me that I needed to pick it up because no more feeling sorry for myself,
Joni, how does that conversation go with Mama?
Exactly what she said.
Yeah.
I call mamas and daddies, and they know that. And I think that's the thing. We're establishing that with our players that return. But you heard us talk about Erica Moon since 6th grade, Sydney Bowles since 8th grade, and I'll call MJ's mom in a minute, and I'll tell MJ I'm going to call her mom. Because it's fair, right? I tore my ACL. I remember what that felt like. You have some time to process that and have a pity party. And for me, it's eat some wings and pizza or a pane of ice cream. But then after that, I got to move on. And so we were at that point with MJ where we're choose your focus. As Yo likes to always say, it's all right, this is where we are, and you have a choice. You have a choice in how you're going to handle this. And I tell them all the time, E plus R equals O. It's the event that happens plus the response equals the outcome. A lot of times it's not the event that equals the outcome. It's our response to the event that equals the outcome. And so how do we respond? We don't always get to control the event. She had no control over going to get a rebound and tearing her ACL, but she can choose her response. And most of the time when you choose the right response, your outcome is going to end up being so much better. So we always try to talk about what is your response to said event? And that is what really determines what happens from there. And I will say from that moment on, she has been excellent, and we continue to challenge her and to continue to, figure out ways to help her learn, to help her teammates, but help herself also because she needs to come into next year knowing everything we want to do and not having to learn it. So I literally will say, where's the board? Come on, bring me the board. Drop this play. Do you know this play? Do you know this? Tell this person that, because we want to, empower her, but responsibility also comes with empowerment. And so it's making sure that she talks to her teammates in the right way. She shows up in the right spirit every single day, and she manages that well, and she has so far.
That's excellent. MJ, tell me about, I can see your shoes. The people here can't see your shoes. They can see you when you walk off the stage. But tell me about your shoes because I think they're pretty cool.
I have on some black Vans. They're the skate highs. And typically everybody else wears the slip-ons or the lows, but I don't want to say I'm old school because I'm not old school, but I like the old school Vans. So I typically like the skate highs. They're high tops.
Do you skate?
No.
Oh, okay. just to make sure. Someone got to keep an eye on or not.
No.
All right. Well, hope your rehab continues to go great, and looking forward to seeing you take a few more shots, and can't wait to see you get back out on the court with everybody. MJ, thank you for joining us. MJ Johnson, everyone. We are live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. The next game for the Aggie women is Thursday, 6 o'clock at Duke. And then on Sunday, the Aggies host Texas Southern at 2. 1 week from tomorrow, the Aggies host Texas State at special time of 4 p.m. We'll be back with our remaining moments with Coach Joni Taylor. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield. Under the broadcasting rights granted by Texas A&M University, reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of Texas A&M University and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and Texas A&M University. We're back with our remaining moments with Coach Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. We're at Rudy's Barbecue. MJ Johnson enjoyed her segment so much. She is remaining with us here to see how this goes over the next couple of minutes. The Aggies getting ready to hit the road tomorrow to Duke, Joni. And I know we had Chelsea talk a little about Duke. What are you expecting from Duke?
You know, a team that runs well in transition and shares the ball really well. They have over 20 assists a game, and they just share the ball really well. So I expect them to run it in transition. And then once they score, they're going to pick us up full court and try to slow us down. And so a fast-paced game on one end, and on the other end, they're trying to slow us down and dictate pace. And so we've got to make sure that we get them stopped and force them into a half-court game. And then once we do that, it's got to be one and done. Can't give them second-chance opportunities. They have a player in Kennedy Brown that she's our second leading scorer. She's 6'6", and so she takes up a lot of space in the paint on offense, and she's a rim protector on defense. And so we've got to move her around a little bit. And then defensively, we've got to make sure that we're just solid in terms of what it is we're doing. And then likewise, can we push the pace, right? So it's going to be a similar styles, and so it's just going to be a battle of who wins those.
In the coaching tree family goes all over the place with different head coaches, and your longtime assistant Karen Lang is over at Duke. How does that play into your game planning?
Well, I mean, obviously she'll know some of the things that we're doing, you know. I think, but so does everybody that you play, you know, especially when you get to conference. It's not a secret. That's film and synergy and all the different technologies allow you to kind of really get down to the nitty-gritty of their percentage here and your percentage here and where they score best from and how to stop them on defense. And so it's about execution at the end of the day. We don't really spend a ton of time worrying about that piece of it. You know, we'll be happy to see her, but it's about execution at the end of the day. And whoever executes well and takes care of the basketball, it's going to end up going in their favor.
It's obviously the first road trip for everyone on the team because it's a new coach, some new players, but it's a new way of doing things. How does a Joni Taylor road trip work?
We will leave tomorrow afternoon and get there, have a team meal, and go to bed. Probably have them stretch out once they get there a little bit. MJ's smiling because she wants me to. I'll take their phones. I will take their phones. Is that what you're smiling about?
What about the backup phone?
Well, no, they better not be a backup phone.
And a backup to the backup phone?
We do not play those games. Don't roll the dice that way. It's not worth it. So we will take their phones, and then we'll get in. We'll have a great team meal, and we'll get them to bed, and then we'll wake up and have breakfast. They'll have some study hall. We'll go to shoot around. We'll come back. We'll rest up, eat pregame meal, and then go play. And then we'll get on a plane and come back here.
There's a lot of coaches out there like to go and got to have a practice on the court the night before. What is your philosophy? Obviously, you don't have it scheduled for this time, but where do you stand on those sort of things?
I believe in it, depending on where we are. Like when we go to Vanderbilt, we're going to always, right? We're going to always go the day before. And when we go to LSU, we're going to always go the day before. That gym is a little quirky too. So there's just certain places where we want to get in the day before. The only other time we'll do that is if it's a Sunday game and the shoot-around time they give us is just unrealistic, right? Sure. So those are the opportunities when we will look to get in the day before. Otherwise, we'll just take our shoot-around time the day of the game.
MJ, you looking forward to the road trip?
I'm excited.
What are you excited about?
I love road shows.
Why?
They're fun.
You just going to sit around and eat and hang out?
I mean, well, now, yeah. But I just like road shows bring a whole bunch of energy. Like you have to bring energy that is not here because, you know, we have the 12th man who brings us energy. So if we're not feeling it, the 12th man will. But on a road show, it's just us. There's nothing but the team. So it forces us to work together.
What do you look for in a road trip roommate?
Well, we don't have phones, but I was going to say don't be loud on the phone at night because I like to go to sleep. But I mean, now somebody who could have a great conversation because we got to talk to each other because we don't have no entertainment.
That's outstanding. All right. Well, thank you, MJ, so much for coming out here and looking forward to you getting back out on the court. I know the fans are too. Just got a glimpse last year. It was just getting good, right? And so looking forward to that. And Joni, it's the first road trip and pretty exciting stuff. Business picks up, doesn't it?
It does. It'll be a good test for us. I'm excited to get out there and see how we respond in a tough environment against a really tough team.
Our next Joni Taylor Radio Show will not be until December the 13th. That'll be at 6 o'clock here at Rudy's on Tuesday December the 13th. All right, that's it. Thank you, ladies. Our thanks to Joni Taylor, also to Chelsea Newton and MJ Johnson, our engineers Kevin Minchow, and for Jacob Smith back at the studios in Jefferson City. For Coach Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. Have a great night, everybody. This has been the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield.